what Yoga Alliance wants to see is that you've thought about the whole 200-hour training. They asked you what's going to happen in hour 142. You know, because
Uh-huh.
you've planned out the whole training. And for the Yoga Alliance application, they want to see every 30 minutes has been assigned to one of the categories. And so when it comes down to planning your training for the Yoga Alliance application, it really takes a lot of detail. Like this idea of use the thing to teach the thing. You know, if you're going to teach lesson plans, use the lesson plan to teach them how to plan lessons. And that's one of the tools for our delivery. Is like, if you're going to teach Cobra Pose, use Cobra Pose. If you're going to teach meditation, do meditation. So use the thing to teach the thing.
Well, and reflection actually really ties into your question about how many um, teachers should you have, because I very much feel, based on the reviews that our training and our program gets, that the reflection is a huge component, and it helps us get those 5-star reviews, because at some point the students become their own teachers, and we're asking them to reflect on their experience very, very often, whether it be an asana practice or whether it be a philosophy concept. And we're asking them to look into both their personal and professional lives and their lives as yoga students, and really draw in this idea of living your yoga. So, I don't think that yoga is separate from life. Yoga mirrors life in a lot of ways, and we're trying to be yogis on and off the mat, and looking for ways to highlight and identify that in the yoga teacher training. We do that through reflection, and and then sharing, right, is really important, that people be heard and share, if they choose to, what these reflections are bringing forth for them. And so, if in my experience, when I was the only teacher, at some point, there was always something I was learning back from the students because of their own personal lived experience and how they were layering these philosophy concepts into their lived experience. Um, and I really believe that even if you're the only experienced yoga teacher in the room, you're definitely not the only teacher in the room. I definitely would encourage people who are writing their own training to make sure it's not just jam packed with lecture and discussion and practice. I think that is a really, really important element of a teacher training, and it can break up your day as well, right? People can't just be lectured at for several hours. They need to really take the time to comprehend for themselves what these concepts mean, so that they can turn around and share them as yoga teachers in the
Mhm.
future.
Yeah, so that is one of the core curriculum, is reflection, that comes up in a few different of educational categories in the Yoga Alliance application. So hour 142 might be 1 hour of reflection and then discussion. Um, Same with planning your delivery. You're going to alternate sitting and moving. And just to quickly say, when you submit the Yoga Alliance application, you actually are supposed to put dates to your training as if it was the first time you delivered it. So you might say, oh, I'm going to do a 20-hour weekend, 4 hours Friday night, 8 hours Saturday, 8 hours Sunday. And this is what's going to happen Friday. Here's Saturday morning. Here's Saturday afternoon. And you're going to think, oh, Saturday afternoon, they're coming back from lunch. And we don't want to do yoga right after lunch, for instance, asana. Um, and so you're going to alternate sitting and moving based on your schedule. But then when it comes to delivering it the next time around, you're going to have your training planned out, that what you had planned for Saturday afternoon might come Saturday morning in your second cohort. So you can just be flipping the hours around to fit your schedule. And so when you just have nice little bite-sized topics, you can alternate between sitting and moving and make sure it works for when you're delivering the training.
And it's a brain break too. If people
Yeah.
are sitting for too long, let's get up, and that's a great thing about a yoga teacher training. We'll get up and actually practice yoga,
Yeah.
whether it's sun salutations or restorative yoga. You can gauge and see what people are are needing. And the more you deliver the training, you'll know at what point to put in more active movements, and then maybe it's just like a walking meditation, or we're just going to put legs up the wall and reflect here for a little while. I think it's really important to get people shifting. Helps them learn too. And then, finally, another component that we like to add into what we call our trainer lesson plans and how we deliver it is we're not always super quick to share an answer. So if we ask a question of the group as part of the learning experience, or they ask a question to the teacher, sometimes it's nice, especially as the training progresses, to take a pause and take a backseat as the teacher, and put it back on the students. Well, what have you been learning? How do you feel about this? What do you think about this? We use a technique called 3 before me. So if somebody asks a question, let 3 other people answer the question before the teacher gives the final answer. Because most of yoga, there are some definite, hard points that we need to stick to, but a lot of yoga is very subjective anyway. And I think it's really great that if we are creating yoga teachers, we want them to be critical thinkers, and we want them to be able to share and speak as well. So each of our lesson plans, when we're delivering the training, incorporates a variety of teaching elements. That gets us a lot of 5-star reviews because it's a learning experience for the students in a way that they appreciate.